no being without imperfection. It's not possible. If you find a place that you've made an error, that you're willing to transform yourself in response to the error, well, that's it, is you let go of your old preconditions. You let them die. That's part of your being. You let that die like a phoenix. And then you allow a new part of yourself to spring forth in response to the error. And so that's the reason that there's a call for humility in religious writing. It's like, pay attention to where you're wrong. Don't pay attention to where you're right. Pay attention to where you're wrong, because where you are wrong, you're weak and insufficient. And your weaknesses and insufficiencies will multiply your suffering. And so if you can figure out where you're wrong, then you can let part of yourself die. And then all of you doesn't have to die. And so it's painful. It's painful because it's a continual process of renewal, like a forest fire. But so the utopia, in some sense, it's like a meta-utopia. It's nothing is going to be perfect, but you can learn how to deal with imperfection properly.
And then... Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. One of the things I think is really interesting is a lot of these sorts of activists on that side of the fence, they don't seem to understand what admitting and accepting your mistakes does for you. Because while these mistakes, what I find really interesting is they try to pacify everything around them. They will, like you say, they'll go out and protest you. They'll protest anyone. They'll break things. They'll set fire on them. They'll try and bring people to heel. And it's interesting how, and it's just a method of trying to control their environment. But what I find interesting is that if you take responsibility for your mistakes and then change yourself, you are still taking control, but you're doing it in a way that's eminently more practicable. It's a lot easier for you personally to change yourself and decide, I did the wrong thing. If I own this, and if I just read this book to figure out where I'm wrong, or do whatever it is you need to do, if you personally take control of that, then you are still in control, and you don't have to tyrannize other people.
Yeah, well, the thing is it's the part of you that can eternally transform that's in control. And that's the part you want to be in control. That's the highest deity. The part of you that can eternally transform is the Logos. It's the highest deity. And it means that you should be grateful when an error is revealed. That's why Christ says that you should welcome comments from your enemies. It's like, they'll tell you what's wrong with you. It's like, really? You'll tell me what's wrong with me? That's so nice of you. It's like, maybe I can fix it.
But this goes through like all sort of. I'm a lot more familiar with Western philosophy than I am Eastern, but this is a thing all the way through Western philosophy is to be humble and accept your own errors and understand that. I don't even know how to describe it. But,
well, humility.
Humility.
See, humility is the pathway to strength. That's the thing that's so bloody. So there's a bunch of what fundamental truths that are unbelievably paradoxical. So one is the way to transcend mortality is to accept it. That's a very strange one.
Yeah.
It's very strange because otherwise you fight it and you get bitter and resentful. You have to accept it, and then you have to accept responsibility for it. And well, what's the pathway to strength? Humility. Why? Because that way you will allow your errors to be revealed to you. And this is why I like listening to people. I know I'm very talkative and talkative.
No, not at all. I'm interviewing you. You're not interviewing me.
but I try to listen to people, because especially people I don't agree with, because even if 95% of what they say is noise, it's like, okay, I can dispense with the noise. If you can tell me one thing I don't know, it's like you've given me a little secret weapon. It's like, really, I didn't know that. I have a new tool. And like one of the things that's been interesting about the things that have happened to me since September is that I've been criticized publicly, like in almost every way that a person can be criticized, and including by my friends, because I've had friends who've helped me through this, and they watch my videos. These are good friends, and they watch my videos and they say, look, you were a little arrogant there, you talked a bit too much there, you didn't listen to the other person there, you got too angry, and that probably didn't really serve your message properly. And like, I'm listening to them, because I don't want to make any more mistakes than I have to make. And if I am making mistakes, I'd like to get rid of them. And it is because I believe I've learned that the part of me that transforms is the part that should be in charge. And it's easy to cling to your errors and assume that that's you. you know, you see people, and this is the identity politics types. It's like, I'm the sum total of my errors. It's like, well, you don't want to be the sum total of your errors. You want to be the thing that lets go and moves forward. And so, if you listen to people, they'll tell you things, and especially if you already agree with them, it's hardly worth talking to them. Because all you're doing is patting each other on the back. It's like, well, you're right there. You're right. I mean, that can be reassuring, you know, fair enough.
Sometimes you might need it, yeah. But to live your life like that, it's going to lead you down a path of consistent self-aggrandizement. Where, I think this is a major problem with millennial and younger children and, like, you know, adults these days anyway, where they're not being actively challenged and told, no, the problem is with you and you have to make that change. Because, I mean, when I was a kid, no, you didn't get any participation trophies. You know, if you lost, you got mocked by your peers, and you thought, right, okay, well, next time, I know what I did wrong there, and so next time that's not going to happen to me, and it's that process of growing as a person. But almost everything about these ideologies seems to be designed to kind of fix them in this youthful, almost infantilized frame of mind, where they don't, you know, why should I have to change? Because life makes you change. You don't have a choice. So why are you fighting this?
Well, there's a reason why you have to change. The reason you have to change is because you're suffering unbearably.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. That is the reason you have to change. If your life isn't everything that it could be, then you have to change. It's as simple as that, unless you want to continue the suffering. And so if you want to minimize the suffering and increase the quality of your life, then you want to welcome change through error whenever you could possibly manage it. Because being better is better than being who you are. It's as simple as that. You want to be better than who you are, do you want to be who you are? If you want to be better, then you welcome error. You say, bring it on.